सबको चक्का जाम करना है, सब यही करते हैं, चलो उन्होंने भी किया,
but the problem is 50,000 crore
let me speak, let me ask question guys, be little civil, let me ask my question. Okay, हाँ तो we condemn them, Sanjukta, we condemn.
Round 2, fight.
I am 100% saying it on record that I want to ask my own security forces, how did it happen? Yes, the cross border, they are trying, but how did you fail to prevent it? Where was your intelligence? Who has resigned? Why has our intelligence officers not resigned after the Pulwama attack? Who has taken the responsibility of the 40 Jawans? I will absolutely say it on record. Why is my government failing in protecting? Yes, they are attacking, but my government is failing in protecting the Kashmir.
Sure. Fair enough. Can I answer without me being cut?
I don't care if that is what the Islamists are saying.
Can I answer?
I don't care कि मेरा अगर उनके साथ match
Can I reply? Can I reply?
Yes. Yeah. I will
and
ask.
I would like to
ask the intelligence. I will ask Mr.
Sure.
क्या नाम है उनका?
That's fine.
जो हमारे क्या है क्या नाम है उनका हमारे जो
Mr. Ajit Doval.
अजित दोवल, मैं उनसे अजित दोवल ने आज तक रेजिग्नेशन क्यों नहीं किया? इतनी सारी जर्नलिज्म हो रही है,
Fine. Can I reply?
उनकी आंखें बंद है क्या?
Can I reply?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I would like to applaud them that unlike the Manmohan Singh led government in 2611, who should have given a befitting reply to Pakistan after the mayhem the state of Pakistan did in Mumbai.
These are all false narratives.
Can I please?
False narratives.
Can I reply?
False narratives.
Can I please reply?
False narratives.
Can I please reply?
I am not going to fall for this false narrative.
I'm just speaking.
There has been no.
I would like to applaud them.
Can I please? False WhatsApp
Can I please reply? Can I please reply? And I would like to applaud them, unlike when they did nothing after 2611.
What are you applauding? It's a false narrative. You are misguided.
Sanjukta, can I please reply? And I would like to applaud them for doing the Balakot, for doing the surgical strikes, and now putting Pakistan state under pressure of thinking of doing anything like that. Unlike the 2611, where we sat like sitting ducks and did nothing after the worst mayhem done to our beloved city. Thank you. The current
there is no way you can prove this.
Fine, let me put this in a different way, and you can choose to answer or you can choose to not answer. You know, Umar Khalid, Sanjukta, years back on Facebook, put up a post in which he lauded, a terror group operative. All right. Now, facing intense pressure, he deleted the post, but of course, internet never forgets. Now, that clearly shows that he backs the secessionist terror groups against the sovereignty of India. Similarly, when it comes to Sharjeel Imam, he straight away called for, territorial disintegration of India, the chicken neck, and, it to be amputated. I want to understand, do you agree with these statements or do you disagree with these statements? That's all. And it's your choice whether you want to agree, answer it, or you want to let it go.
I don't know what Umar Khalid posted and what he deleted, and I do not know what to make of it because it's completely new information to me. So, but to answer on a larger point, I don't support secessionist movement at all. No, I don't understand why Kashmir wants to be separate from India. उनको क्यों आजादी चाहिए मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. क्या परेशानी है भाई तुमको इंडिया से, तुम्हें क्यों आजादी की मांग करनी है? So I have never understood secessionist movements by Khalistanis, by Kashmir, by the Naxalites. I have never understood any violent movements at all. I believe that our constitution is so strong and so robust that everybody who is poor and गिरा हुआ and उनको कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, खाना नहीं मिल रहा है और वो शस्त्र उठा लेते हैं. I don't believe in this. I don't believe that you have to pick up arms for your rights. You can approach the institutions and the democratic processes for your all your grievances, and there should not be any armed rebellion in the country. That includes the people who are breaking the Pathan movie halls in protesting Pathan, and includes all the people who are climbing on Babri Masjid and
नमस्ते, स्वागत है आपका इंडिया दिस वीक के नए एपिसोड में और मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट आमना अंसारी.
Hi, this is Khalid Bagh, and welcome to yet another episode of India This Week. For a lot of episodes, we've not got intellectually challenged. So for the first time, we have a left of the center intellectual, Sanjukta Basu, joining us today. She's a journalist, she's an editor, she's an author, she's a photographer, she's a lawyer, TEDx speaker, and she's pursuing her PhD in women's political space and gender-based trolling. Welcome, Sanjukta.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all ours, Sanjukta, because for the first time we've been able to complete the entire arch. We've had a lot of right of the center intellectuals speak to us today who are driving the discourse, and you're the first left of the center we are having. So even Amana was telling me, "Maza nahi aa raha, we're not getting challenged," So I hope this is fun.
That's not true. You had who's that? Tehseen, yeah, you had.
Yeah, but Tehseen's like so different, right? It's like the Congress ideologue out and out, right? So it is slightly left-leaning, but you are like dyed-in-wool left of the center, right? And we just wanted to tell people that we can have a conversation. I mean, our perception generally to the viewers is right of the center, Amna and Khalid, right? So, but I mean, Sanjukta Basu, people do know she owns left of the center. And we said, the space that we've created, we do want to talk to people across the spectrum, as long as they're civil, as long as they can have a discussion. Even an Islamist whose worldview is an existential threat to us. But, that's how it is. Sanjukta, so for the first part, a little bit easier question, a little fun. This absolute love you have for Raga, right? I mean, your photos with Rahul Gandhi, these articles you write, and you wear your, love for him on your sleeve. What's it? Is it just that crush for a good-looking man, or more than that?
No, I mean, on the very contrary, I have no crush on Raga. I have a crush on Jeremy Renner. I already, have declared that I'm a huge fan of actor Jeremy Renner, and I have never had crush. And even my crushes for anybody, for that matter, whether it's Jeremy Renner or an actor or anybody else, is not a romantical crush, or it's more like I just really, really, really love that person, in a sense that in a very spiritual love. I dig that person. I follow what they do. I follow their life's philosophy, everything that they say. But it's not really this. I don't confuse fandom with romance. I mean, romance has to happen between two people who know each other. So there's no confusion with that. It's not about him being good looking. I remember in the childhood when we first knew about Rahul and Priyanka, we used to be they were like the movie stars. They were like similar to how we had this feeling about celebrities. So the feeling towards a movie star, like an Amitabh Bachchan or something, would be similar to what, and I remember it's very silly that the first time Rajiv Gandhi's funeral, that was the first time we saw them on television doing the, the Kriya and all that. And Amitabh Bachchan was also there. And the excitement of the tragedy of losing Rajiv Gandhi was kind of stupidly overshadowed by this excitement of seeing Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, in television, as if, because in those days we didn't have all these things, right? We couldn't access a celebrity culture at that time. So the only way we could see them was if we could get their autographs or something, see them in real, or some function and etc. But to see them on TV was like as if but netas were not like that, as if they were not neta or not politicians, but more like film stars, children or something like that. That was way back, like 40 years back, I'm saying. 30 years back, not 40, I'm not that old, but 30 years back. But I don't have a crush on Raga, so to be very clear with that. And I absolutely acknowledge that the photograph that goes around of me and Rahul Gandhi looks crazily kind of like, these two people are into each other. I don't know how that happened. I have no clue how that happened. That photo looks very silly, romantic kind of, but it's just a very simple photo. It was a group event and he posed with everybody and he got a photo with everybody. Only somehow my photo got viral. Everybody got a photo that same event. But why am I a supporter of Rahul Gandhi's political? My support for Rahul Gandhi is purely at a political level. Of course, I support him as a politician. Now, everybody who supports Mr. Modi is not romantically involved with Mr. Modi. So it's the same way. Just because I support Rahul Gandhi, I'm not romantically involved with Rahul Gandhi. The support is quite simple, actually. How can it be even a question? I mean, he is the most hatke politician we have ever seen in the country. He is the most different, unique politician. He does nothing like a political leader that we have known in this country through the 70s and 80s. I'm an 80s child. I grew up resenting politicians. They are all pot-bellied and corrupt and pan-chewing, and they all cross over from gundaism to politics. And politics used to be a bad place, and nobody trusted politicians at all. And amidst all this, Rahul Gandhi comes in 2004. I was not really even interested in Rahul Gandhi until 2000. In fact, until 2012 campaign started for 2014 election, I didn't even, if you go through my Twitter, I have not even mentioned his name once in my Twitter ever anywhere until 2012's campaign start. I remember the first time I was even interested in Rahul Gandhi was when he was in Maharashtra doing this campaign, and he's going to ATM and traveling in local trains, and the Shiv Sena was like at that time totally against, and they were like really outraging against him. So from there, slowly this understanding of him as being an extremely different kind of individual I started acknowledging that, and then I started listening to all his political speeches, his interviews, reading about him. And I realized slowly that just like, how I see myself as a very different kind of a person. I don't fit into a square box of leftist or liberal or secular or anything you say it, anything you have. You can't label me. And I feel that it's because I have extremely different kind of worldview. I'm extremely in a very complex worldview at everything. I believe Rahul Gandhi have the same thing. I feel a sense of similar ideology. I feel an ideological similarity between what Rahul Gandhi says and how I also perceive everything. I mean, intellectually, he is the only one he's used. Like, my interest in politics is purely from a feminist perspective. I don't like a certain kind of politics, and I support another kind of politics, all from the perspective of what is better for an individualistic rights and for women's rights. So from that sense, he's the only person who has ever used the word patriarchy in our country in his speeches, that that we are patriarchal society. The word patriarchy is so loaded, nobody uses it. He's the only one to have used it. And then he's also the only one to have had such complex take on so many issues. So yeah, to cut it short, I completely am aligned with his ideology, his liberal views, his very modern take on several things, very liberal, progressive take. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
right. So in summary, you don't think he fits the bill of a stereotypical politician? That's what we understand.
Yeah, stereotypical politician.
And you see your worldview resonating with him, basically.
Yeah, and that is a problem that poses. It's a problem that poses in the way of him becoming a more mainstream politician. That's part of the reason he's kind of ridiculed by all kinds of people. Even those who claim to be secular and liberal, they seem to not be happy with him because he does not fit the bill of this political leader who will be tall, macho, will speak in loud voice, will have a personality. And we live in a country where cult phenomena works more, and he does not fit that bill. So exactly the reason that does not make him a great politician, so to speak, is why I am in support of him. And I believe we need him. I guess his time has not yet come, but we need him. The country needs him. Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll stop at that. Yeah. Next question.
So basically, what I can get that Raga subscribed to a kind of leftist ideology.
Kind of leftist ideology. Now, so there's you have to understand what is left, what is right. Left is not communism. Left is not CPIM. I have never in my entire life been a supporter of CPIM as a party. Communist Party of India. I've never been a supporter. I have never been a supporter of communism as an ideology. I am a liberal, and liberals are totally against communism. I am a hardcore classical liberal who follows the principles of, and let's take some of the names, those names of Rousseau and Aristotle or Kant. So the Enlightenment, the liberalism that came from Enlightenment in the 17th, 18th century, and
Classic
that which,
liberalism.
yeah, Marx, what did you say?
Classical
Marx?
liberalism.
Classical liberalism. So I'm very much a classical liberal, and it cannot, I have absolutely no alignment which is with communism, because communism is absolutely not liberalism. And that's why half the people who call themselves leftist troll me all the time on Twitter. So when I say is Rahul Gandhi a left, and am I on the left? Yes, because we are not on the right. But what is this left? This left simply means, and if you give me some time, I'll just simply explain this very dichotomy on which the entire global politics is based. After the right and left dichotomy, there are many branches that then spreads out on both the sides. But at the basic level, left is everything that's not right, and right is the status quo, what has always been and what will be. So the right ideology is the conservatives, is the people who follow old traditions, culture, religion, people who have always lived in a certain way and moral codes, etc. And they always thought that this is the right thing to do. So going back into the past, idealizing the past and idealizing our ancestral, ancient values. That's all conservatism. That's on the right side. Everything that breaks out from this and says that no, we don't like what has always been. We want to change. We don't like inequalities. We want equality. We want rights. We want individual rights. We want gay and lesbian rights, women rights. All of that then starts the left spectrum. So left spectrum begins at this very breaking point of saying that we want to break out of the traditions. What has always been, here is a breaking point and we are going to be different. This difference is left. Beyond that, there is Marxism, leftism, communism, there is communist populism, there is communist dictatorship that we have seen across South America, we've seen in Russia, we've seen bloodshed, killings. These are then branching out of that. But at the basic level, yes, I am, and Rahul Gandhi, I believe, believes in that breaking point or breaking out from the traditional inequalities and saying that we want change, we want equality, we want rights, we want human rights, human values, positioning the individual as opposed to the customs, traditions, religion, monarch, father, patriarch, the king, the church, the temple, the orthodox values, the books, the Gitas, the Quran and the Bible and the church and everything that was this holy, value system. And let's break from that and let's be modern, let's be progressive, let's be everything that's, going to antagonize the right. That's the basic difference. Yeah, I think I'm
Very
going to
good
put the
thing.
last
The
time.
only problem is that when they talk about the right and they want to break away from them, they only talk about the Hindu right, but they're very fine with idea to accommodate Muslims right. And that's where my problems come in, because as a Muslim woman, Indian Muslim woman, I have been seeing Muslim women suffering from this. The Rajiv Gandhi was the one who gave away, yes, you can have your Muslim personal law. And the Muslim women still go through this trauma where their husband can marry 4 women if they want to. It's not in a practice, but legally he has a right. And it's not about the practicality, it's also about the psychology of it. So a woman knows that my husband can do this to me. That plays a very big role in power play in the house, in the negotiations. So I see the Muslim women being officially second class citizen in the same India. So when you are against the right, you should be against the right of all the colors hues. So there is what my problem. Even when instant triple talaq was banned, so there were a few statements from the Congress that we will change it when we will be back in the power. So a women like me, I feel betrayed. I feel like, why do you do that? There's one side Hindu bill code, which is reformed thoroughly, and there is a Muslim personal law board where you don't want to change one single thing. So that's like biggest hypocrisy for me. And I think that is also an issue with the Congress. They are not understanding, but majority is also very fed up because of these small hypocrisy and things. So sorry to just interrupt, but I couldn't keep it
No.
to myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But can I respond to that? Can I respond to that? So when you say they, who are they who are not ready to then speak against the right, which is the Muslim right? Who are they? Let us see. They are the influential, rich, elite Muslims of the country who are busy doing identity politics, and they are actually the enemy of the poor, larger Muslim community. They're enemy of the Muslim women. They are also the Muslim religious leaders, the Qazis and the Maulvis and the Maulanas and everywhere. They are the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, one of the most patriarchal and most bigoted institution in the country. I just absolutely do not have any sympathy for All India Muslim Person. I don't know why it exists. There's no women in that body. And they only got women, which some like couple of years back, they for the first time even thought of having a women branch of All India Muslim Personal Law Board. And they said, no, now every time we say, hello, RSS does not have any women, they'll be like, no, we have a Muslim branch, women branch. Why do you have a women branch? Why can't women become the chief of the AIMPLB? Just like RSS does not include women, you guys also don't include women. These are the people who do this. Political party, Congress, and other political parties also. There is SP, BSP, other several political parties who claim to be secular liberal parties. They have all aligned with these rich elite Muslims and used the Muslim vote banks and have kept the Muslim community poor. Muslim women in India, statistically, education, work, job participation, economic participation, health, education, from every perspective, they are the worst affected group in the country. Their situation is worse than the Dalit women of the country. They have no workforce participation, they have no economic participation, they have no educational participation. I have personally visited home after home of rich Muslims families where the highly educated Muslim women have told me that they are not allowed to work. They're allowed to study, but they're not allowed to work. When this whole hijab controversy happened, they said, oh, Muslim women's education will solve everything. It will not solve everything, because despite getting education, they are not allowed to exercise their own choices, and they are not allowed to work outside the house. This parda system is strictly followed. The public-private dichotomy is strictly followed, all of that. Now, here is my thing. My belief is this, that Rahul Gandhi will not be the one to fall into the same old trap of appeasing the Muslim Personal Law Board and doing the same thing that Rajiv Gandhi did at Shah Bano time. And I believe that Rahul Gandhi has the strength in him to put his foot down and say, nothing doing, I'm not going to appease when it is a compromise on a Muslim women's rights. Will that happen? I don't know until he gets the power in his hand. Until that happens, I will keep having this faith that Rahul Gandhi is not the same as all the previous Congress leaders have been. That it's not so easy to fool Rahul Gandhi the way Rajiv Gandhi was fooled by the same MJ Akbar and the same, who are the people who are now into sitting in BJP? MJ Akbar, and who is that person who is in governor in Kerala? I forgot his name. Kerala governor right now.
But he resigned. He protested against it.
He protested against it.
He resigned. No, but they confused Rajiv Gandhi in the beginning. There is a lot to read about it.
But he resigned on principle basis, Sanjukta. He resigned at such a powerful position. That is testament to the man that he was driven by convictions and ethics in a political
I don't know. So maybe I don't know. I just know that these were the people who were at that time in Congress, and then they later became part of BJP, and that Rajiv Gandhi took any decision that he took was highly influenced by the advices that he gave, and it was very easy to fool him or con him or convince him to take a wrong decision. And I also believe that Rajiv Gandhi did what he best could do. Look, the only other option that he had, which now today Mr. Adityanath can do, but Rajiv Gandhi could not at that time, which is bulldozer. So the Muslim community, and not the women, the men, had actually created a war kind of situation on the streets. They were on the streets protesting the Supreme Court judgment in large numbers. It was going to be a threatening, like today, like you get so angry with all these, street protests that we have seen time and again in the past. And it has been handled by bulldozers in today's time. But Rajiv Gandhi could either use force, tear gas, bulldozer, etc., to silence that protest, or he could cave in, and appeal and appease to the community. It is exactly what Mr. Modi did when he appeased to the farmers' community and caved in and took the bill back. Similarly, Rajiv Gandhi took the decision to calm the community down because the situation was really worsening and there was too much of protest. Could Rajiv Gandhi have rather used force and told them that nothing doing, I'm not going to back down and I'm not going to cave, and you guys just shut up and go home, otherwise I will use bullets and force and bulldozers? He could have probably, but they don't. Even Mr. Modi gave in to the farmers' protest and literally took the bill back. So sometimes you have to make those compromises. It was a compromise Rajiv Gandhi did. It was not in the best interest of the Muslim women. Absolutely, it was a wrong decision. But it happened. What happened, it happened. My point is that I don't believe that Rahul Gandhi will do the same things. However, if he does, then I'll take my words back. But it would not happen until he is actually in the power position. So we would keep speculating what can and cannot happen. That's all we can say.
Amana, can I get in with the next question? You could ask, because I just wanted to. Sanjukta, whatever you said till now as an individualist, I completely agree with it. And in fact, I'm even thinking that what is it that I disagree with you, right? But then isn't there a difference in what you said, when you spoke about individual rights over community, right? And you want liberalism for everyone across the spectrum. And that's what Amana has always felt led down by the Congress dispensation, and rightly so, and you agree there. But then isn't there a difference in what you're speaking and what the actions are? Because you were part of the Shaheen Bagh protest, the anti-CAA protest, which later culminated into deadly riots. Now, those protests were basically breaking down the state apparatus, right? I mean, we saw initially those rioting mobs in Bengal being given a free hand. We saw non-issue being made to an issue. We saw, Muslims being made to feel scared again, and, they being made to feel under siege, where there was nothing of that sort.
No,
so why
disagree.
then stand with such forces in Shaheen Bagh who you are opposed to, right? Because you had the radical clergy in Shaheen Bagh. I
completely disagree. I think the Shaheen Bagh protests were very valid. I think the CAA law was absolutely unconstitutional, and it was very.
What is unconstitutional about it?
In the CAA law, I have made an entire series of short films, explaining why I completely believe that the anti-CAA protest was very much valid. Do we need violence in a protest? Absolutely not. Am I responsible for some people creating violence? Absolutely not. But do I support the protests? I think everybody has a right to protest in this country.
But nobody, Sanjukta, has a right to occupy roads, right? To block roads.
No, even the farmers occupied road. The farmers occupied road, the students occupied road.
That doesn't justify it.
Everybody who wants to protest will occupy road. Occupying
but
road.
That's not democratic. That's not legal. You cannot occupy a public road.
Let me see. You can ask me whether I agree or not, and then I can tell you I agree or not agree. But you can't convince me. You can't change my mind in this interview. So what I'm trying to say is...
I'm not here to change your mind, but I'm saying it is illegal to occupy a public road, right? Do we agree on that or no?
No, there is absolutely not. There is nothing wrong in occupying anything. Occupy Wall Street. Occupy movement is a very valid protest movement across the globe. You have to occupy state apparatus. You have to do chakka jam. You have to do railway jam. You have to do bus jam. You have to do strikes. क्या कहते हैं उसको? Dharmghat, some chakka jam, like nationwide strikes. These are all valid forms of protests across centuries. We have used them as various groups have used them. So that's fine. Do people think that the law was valid and still there is happening protest? Even when a law is valid, if people feel that the law is wrong, they have a right to protest. Not everybody have the responsibility to read through every minute details of a law and then sit down and think that, oh, I should not protest or I should protest. People have a right to protest and go out on the street, and even at the cost of causing. What kind of protest will it be if you don't cause a little bit of inconvenience to other people? Did Did they give space to ambulances? Yes, they did. Did they give space to children? Yes, they did. Later on, some violence happened. Yes, some right-wing guy also shot some bullets over there. That also happened. All kinds of things happens in a protest. But at the core of Shaheen Bagh protest was this law, CAA, which said we will take people, so-called religiously persecuted people from these 4 or 5 neighboring countries, but we will not take
denying that
Muslims.
because you said so-called. Are you denying that Hindus are not persecuted in Bangladesh and Pakistan?
I deny. I said so-called because you can never find out who is religiously persecuted when they have already entered the country before 2014. So there is no way to, the problem with the law is at a technical level. The law is not implementable. The law is not created with a genuine interest. There are persecuted people across our country in Myanmar, Pakistan, Bangladesh. In different countries, there are different groups who are being persecuted. In Bangladesh, atheist Muslims are persecuted. In Pakistan, some other Muslim community is persecuted. In Myanmar, Muslim communities, Rohingyas are persecuted. But to say that
Rohingya militants have even persecuted Hindus, right?
Yeah, Rohingyas militant have persecuted Hindus where? I don't know where, which country?
In Myanmar.
In Myanmar, okay. No, I don't know that, but I don't really right now don't know how to validate that information. But never mind, that does not concern me. My concern is that when the government says we will take persecuted people, how will you decide who is persecuted? What kind of investigation will you do to find out if this particular person was persecuted? That's why he came to India, or did they come for jobs and other economic reasons?
Religiously persecuted, right? In Islamic states, polytheists would be persecuted by the virtue of the state, right? Which has happened in both Bangladesh and Pakistan.
I just told you Rohingyas are being persecuted in a Buddhist state, na? So how can you ignore them? You just skipped that detail that Rohingyas are persecuted in a Buddhist country, and then there is another sect of Muslim who are persecuted in a Muslim country, which is Pakistan.
But that's about taking about everyone, right? We're talking about specifically Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan.
That's exactly what I'm saying. How will you say that two people are standing in my doorstep asking for food? I will give food to this one, but I will not give food to that one.
Because one of them was part of my home, and now he's eliminated and made extinct.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's the problem with the law, that it's inhuman, it's unconstitutional.
How is it inhuman? He was part of my home. He's now nearing extinction.
The Constitution does not give us the right to say that if two people are hungry, I will give food to one because I have a history with this one, and the other one should die because
charity starts at home.
It's inhuman. It's basically completely inhuman. Also,
how is it?
No, it isn't. Come on. I mean, think about it. These two people, the two human beings. What are you going to do?
That other human being, I don't have anything to do with him. I haven't persecuted. This human being was part of my home.
So we as a country have not persecuted anybody. They are being persecuted in their respective countries. Why should
that was a part of our country, 1947. Hello.
Forget 1947. How? See, that's the point. Why are you connecting it with the partition? Because then you are inventing reasons to leave out the Muslims. That is the problem. You are coming.
Muslim can't have the cake and eat it too. No, he can't have an Islamic state and then have a secular state as well.
The government have invented 3 convoluted excuses to leave out the Muslims. And on top of that, they cannot figure out the way to actually implement the law. And they made the law only to antagonize the community and to.
What do we have to do with the Muslims of Pakistan? Why should it antagonize us?
You're not letting me finish.
Okay, please.
You're not letting me finish.
Sure.
Please. The CAA law is based upon convoluted reasons invented to particularly leave out the Muslims. There is no logic behind which countries are chosen to show this humanity. There is no logic to decide why are certain people left out of the humanity that you are showing while taking them in. And there is no particular device mechanism to actually validate whether these people were persecuted. That's why they came to India, or they came to India for economic reason. And the fourth thing is that this law only applies to people who came to India before December 31st, 2014. None of these logics are at a coherent logic which will validate why Muslims are left out from Myanmar, why Muslims are left out from Pakistan, why atheist Muslims are left out from Bangladesh. If you want to be a humane society which takes in persecuted people, you close your eyes and you give food and water to everybody who is seeking shelter in your country, who have come to the country because they were persecuted in their countries and they have come to India to save their lives. While saving their lives, you cannot say, I will not save Muslim lives. That is absolutely inhuman, and that's what is wrong with the CAA law. And the final thing is that the government knew that they cannot implement the CAA law. It has been 3 years. They will never implement the CAA law. They knew it is impossible, because for validating the rules that they have to be persecuted, they will have to go back to the country and see the reports of that country and find some kind of proof that they were not economic migrants. And since they can't do that, they have not, till date, they have not released the rules, and nobody has been given citizenship in India on the basis of CAA. All citizenship in India from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, recent times have been given on the basis of the existing citizenship laws of our country, which was sufficient to accommodate anybody who is being persecuted in Pakistan or Afghanistan or anybody anywhere else. It was our law was sufficient to give asylum to any persecuted community in our country. This law was created to put a finger on the Muslim eyes and tell them that we don't like you, we would not take you, we would let you rather die outside our border, but we would not live in this country. And to top it all, it applies only on 31st, it only applies to people who are already living in the country. So it does not even make sense that you are persecuting your own people who are living in this country for maybe 40, 50, 60 years, and then suddenly telling them that now you can go out or whatever, put them in jail, put them in whatever, I don't know where will they go, put them in some asylum, in some system, in some, God knows what will they do. But anyway, the point is that
I get your point. So there's a
Amana come in now.
Yeah.
A rebuttal.
There's a thing.
So to conclude that the CAA protests were absolutely
CAA
valid.
is not,
The CAA law was absolutely wrong.
Sanjukta,
And
can
my
I
participation in
speak?
that,
Can I
I'm just
add?
concluding. But
So CAA is not going to snatch away any Indian Muslims' legal right to stay in India or being Indian citizen. Because this is not about the Indian Muslim, basically. This was only about the religious persecuted community in the neighboring country. And this was not happening the first time. If you remember, in Sri Lanka, there was a time when Tamilian Hindu, they have been going through the same persecution, and Congress was the one who invited them in India and settled them in.
Yeah, so fine, that's fine. That's how is that connected to this?
Sanjukta, let her finish. You asked for her to let her finish.
No, but you say that it is not going to affect the Indian Muslims. It is going to affect the Indian Muslims if you use it.
It is going to affect Indian Muslims who believe in Ummah, who are Islamists, and you're supporting.
Wait, can I complete, please?
No, it will, of course, it will not affect the Indian
and
Muslims.
The second thing is that there has been this idea, even among the Congress politician, that yes, Hindus have been persecuted in Bangladesh and in Pakistan, in the neighboring country. And if that happens, we should invite them in this nation.
You should invite them, but your existing laws were sufficient to invite them. Why did you need an amendment in 2019?
Because let me tell you this thing, कि जो refugee हैं पाकिस्तान से आए हुए हिंदू, वो काफी टाइम से इंडिया में है और उनको कोई राइट्स नहीं मिलते थे. तो इवन दे आर वेल एजुकेटेड, they are well educated.
आप मुझे ये बताओ,
अच्छा मुझे पॉइंट अपना बताने दीजिए.
वो कंप्लीट तो करने तो आप उसको फिर रिबट कीजिए.
So there are well educated Hindu who came from the Pakistan where they couldn't find the proper job because they don't have right. So CA was a way, a mechanism to escalate this process to give them citizenship of India.
How?
Plus, ऐसा नहीं था कि they are saying, okay, let me finish the last point. ऐसा नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान से,
let her complete.
This last point, ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने मना कर दिया. हमने ऐसा लॉ बनाया कि अगर आप पाकिस्तान से मुस्लिम हैं और आप इंडिया आते हैं और आप किसी भी नेबरिंग कंट्री के मुस्लिम हैं, आ चुके हैं 2000 दिसंबर 31 से पहले. आई एम मेकिंग सम अदर पॉइंट. तो आप इंडिया का सिटीजनशिप ले ही नहीं सकते हैं क्योंकि पाकिस्तानी नेशनलिस्ट को इंडिया के सिटीजनशिप मिले हैं. अगर वो आते हैं, प्रोसिक्यूटेड हैं, उनको सीए के थ्रू नहीं मिलेगा. दे कैन गो बाय द नॉर्मल वे जैसे बाकी लोगों को मिलता है. तो ऐसे नहीं
जैसे अदनान सामी को मिला है.
मैं
हाँ,
आपकी बात समझ गई हूँ, मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ, आप बोल रहे हो कि जो पाकिस्तान से हिंदू आए, पहले काफी पहले आए, उनको अभी तक सिटीजनशिप नहीं मिला, और 2019 में CAA बनाया गया। तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि CAA का वो कौन सा प्रोविजन है जो ऐसा कुछ कहता है जो कि पहले की सिटीजनशिप लॉ में नहीं था, और पहले उनको नहीं दिया जा सकता था और CAA की जरूरत पड़ी? ऐसा आपको कौन से
हमारा
प्रोविजन
जो
से, कौन सी
सिटीजनशिप
सेक्शन
देने
से
का जो
लगता है?
प्रोसेस है वो बहुत लंबा है, क्योंकि इंडियन स्टेट इतनी जल्दी सिटीजनशिप नहीं देती है ड्यू टू वेरियस रीजन। तो वहां पे उन लोगों को वो सारी चीजें फेस करनी पड़ी थी। दे कुडंट not enjoy, they couldn't have a decent human life, and they don't have any other option. So CA could be a way to give them this, a narrow pathway ki, okay, you can go through this pathway and you will be easy, it will be easier for you to get.
I'm asking, I'm saying that did we already not have a Citizenship Act which does gives asylum and refugee and citizenship to people who apply for it? Did we have a policy where we will not give citizenship who are
not
to
that
people
easy,
who are?
not that easy.
It was not that
Expedite नहीं
easy.
था ना,
Fine.
expedite नहीं होता था.
You are saying it was not that easy. I was asking because I'm a lawyer. You know that I have studied law. I know the legal provisions in all of these acts. But I was asking you about a section which says that CAA helps in this particular way, which was not available in the Previous Citizenship Act. There is
This
no
expedites
such
it. It expedites it.
Yeah, tell me the section which says that it is expediting. Give me the exact specific example कि वहां पे ये करना पड़ता था और इसमें ये नहीं करना पड़ता है। आप बताओ मुझे, और आप मुझे ये बताओ कि पिछले 3 सालों में कितने लोगों को दी गई सिटीजनशिप?
यार आपने प्रोटेस्ट कर दिए, राइट्स हो गए, बेचारे कहाँ करने देते?
Government failure. They should have implemented
It's a government
it.
failure.
I am just very surprised that why they are not doing that.
आप देखो, आइडियोलॉजिकली हम अपोज है, लेकिन आप इस बात को मानो फ्रॉम अ लॉयर, फ्रॉम अ लीगल पर्सपेक्टिव, गवर्नमेंट नहीं कर पाएगी। जिनको भी
अगर अगर ऑक्यूपाई किया अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मींस से शाहीन बाग पूरे इंडिया में किए और ब्लॉक कर दिया, और एक्सचेकर को थाउजेंड्स ऑफ करोड़ का नुकसान हुआ, डेथ्स हो, राइटिंग हो, बंगाल में ही 5,000 करोड़ का नुकसान हो, तो कहां से गवर्नमेंट करेगी? स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टेट नहीं है ना। हम भी तो चाहते हैं नेशनलिस्ट की स्टेट स्ट्रॉन्ग हो, बट दे ऑलवेज बाउ डाउन टू द अनार्किस्ट।
बट उस प्रोटेस्ट के साथ या मार्केट के साथ या राइट के साथ गवर्नमेंट का सिटीजनशिप किसी को ग्रांट करने का कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है। गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो सिटीजनशिप दे सकती है और दी भी है। अभी जब तालिबान आ गया था तो वहां से कई हिंदूज अफगानिस्तान से आए और 6 अफगानिस्तान से आए और उनको दी गई सिटीजनशिप। भाई हम अभी भी दे रहे हैं सिटीजनशिप,
और अब
लेकिन हम एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ के तहत दे रहे हैं।
फिंगर काउंट पे 6 बचे हैं, तो जो इंडिक फेथ्स के लोग हैं वो वाइप आउट हो चुके हैं अफगानिस्तान, पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश में।
अच्छा, जो I don't know how is that relevant, but I'm saying that हम
that is relevant। और आप as a lawyer आप ये मुझे बताइए, as a lawyer आप मुझे बताइए, how does anything change for 20 crore Indian Muslims with the CA? Nothing changes for them. Tell me what changes for me.
Let me finish the topic. You change the topic. I am saying that आज भी हम दे रहे हैं सिटीजनशिप। हमने दिया है, अफगानिस्तान से लोग आए हैं, हमने हिंदुओं को भी जो हिंदू पाकिस्तान से आए उनको भी अभी हाल ही में दिया है, कुछ दिन, ये 2019 की बात है। पर ये सारे सिटीजनशिप जो है वो एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ के अंडर में दिया गया है। जो नया लॉ 2019 में बना उसके तहत अभी तक किसी को सिटीजनशिप नहीं दिया गया, क्योंकि रूल्स जो है वो फ्रेम नहीं हुए हैं। हाँ,
इम्प्लीमेंट करने ही नहीं दिया।
इम्प्लीमेंट क्यों नहीं करने दिया? इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के साथ राइट्स का या प्रोटेस्ट का क्या संबंध है? इम्प्लीमेंटेशन तो सरकार कर ही लेती है। इम्प्लीमेंटेशन सब, या तो आप वापस ले लो, बोलो कि राइट हो गया, हम ये कानून वापस ले रहे हैं, या आप जो कानून जिस जैसे बना हुआ है उसके रूल्स आप फ्रेम कर दो। बार बार सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मत जाओ ये बोलने के लिए कि हम तो रूल्स फ्रेम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, हमें और 3 महीने का टाइम दो। बार बार सरकार जो है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाती है और
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तो बोला, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के तो आ भी गया कि दिस इज फाइन, सीए कंप्लीटली कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है। आप लोग मानने को तैयार ही नहीं हो।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ऐसा नहीं आया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कब आया सीए का?
जितने भी पिटीशंस डाली गई थी उनको तो रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया कि नहीं, अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल नहीं है।
नहीं यार, ये कब हुआ?
आप चेक कर लीजिए, हम इसी इंटरव्यू के नीचे लिंक्स भेज देंगे।
ठीक है, भेज देना। सीए का तो केस अभी भी पेंडिंग है, इलेक्टोरल
है, लेकिन जितने भी अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल का था उसमें बहुत सारे पिटीशंस में आया कि नहीं है अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल तो नहीं है। डेमोक्रेटिकली इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट ने
Let me Google. I don't think that it's true. CAA petitions are not at all rejected by the government yet. Let me Google. This is a wrong information. Absolutely, there is no decision given by Supreme Court as of on Citizenship Amendment Bill of 2009, Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, Supreme Court. Let's Google. Although I'm kind of very sure that. Supreme Court Observer, where does the case stand? The Supreme Court takes the Citizenship Amendment Act.
This
September
interview will go
2022
like for 2 hours.
Yeah, so don't just give me some random information like that, guys. Supreme Court ने केस अभी लिया है, सितंबर की बात है, और ये केस अभी पेंडिंग है और ये चलना है इस केस को अभी तो इतनी जल्दी भाई इतनी बड़ी न्यूज होगी कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जैसे डिमोनेटाइजेशन को वैलिड कर दिया वैसे ही सीएए को भी वैलिड कर दिया और वो खबर मुझे नहीं मिली क्या मैं इतनी am I so absent from the political scene? Is that even possible? Do you think that's even possible? तो ये केस तो अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाना है और इसकी तो डिसीजन आनी है, अभी ये हुआ नहीं है। मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि आप बोल रहे हो आमना, आपने बोला कि जो सीएए है वो लोगों को हेल्प कर रही है एक्सपीडिएट करने में। मेरा सवाल ये है कि वो कौन सा प्रोविजन सीएए, मैंने पूरा सीएए अमेंडमेंट एक्ट पढ़ा हुआ है 2019 वाला, उसमें कहीं पे ये नहीं लिखा है कि so and so process was not available earlier and is now available. There is no such provision which was not earlier available and is now available.
I think you are mistaking the refugee and asylum seeker getting that position in India. That's easier, you can get that position, but getting citizenship after that was always very hard. I have gone through the
citizenship, even getting citizenship was always very obviously यार citizenship किसी को कोई country क्यों दे देगा, कुछ बहुत तरीके के बाद ही देगा ना, वो कई साल रहने के बाद। तुम जैसे यूएस में जाते हैं लोग ग्रीन कार्ड पाने के लिए कितनी मेहनत करते हैं और कितनी वो करते हैं तब जाके उनको मिलता है। कोई भी देश ऐसे मुफ्त में तो सिटीजनशिप बांटता नहीं फिरता है। ये बीजेपी सरकार ने बोला हम मुफ्त में बांटेंगे सिटीजनशिप, सिर्फ हिंदुओं को बांटेंगे और सिख जैन पारसीज को बांटेंगे, और ये भी अब
माइनॉरिटी
उनको बांटेंगे जो स्टेट से ही डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड है, इसी कंट्री का हिस्सा थे। लेकिन संजुक्ता कह रही है कि आप उनको भी बांटो जिनका माइंडसेट उसके लिए पॉसिबल है, तो आप पूरे पाकिस्तान को ही अडॉप्ट कर लो।
क्यों पाकिस्तान को अडॉप्ट करेंगे? पाकिस्तान को क्या जरूरत है? यहाँ पे पूरे पाकिस्तान को यहाँ आने की जरूरत पड़ रही है।
आपका तो वही आर्गुमेंट
is the whole Pakistan, and if the whole Pakistan is going to merge with us, isn't that what we want? Akhand Bharat. We want the whole Pakistan.
No, we don't want that. Right? We don't want. We already have so many mini Pakistans here.
We want Akhand Bharat. We want Pakistan, Afghanistan to be again with us. I mean, that would be swell for me. I would absolutely love that idea of Akhand Bharat.
But that will take out the whole individuality.
I just want to tell you this thing. Look, whatever argument, you can have a disagreement with this entire policy. That's very fine. As the individual, we have all the right to oppose the state. But the only problem I have that this has nothing to do with Indian Muslims. This has nothing to do with our citizenship, but the intellectual of the country and Hindu and Muslim both, the kind of the panic they created among the Indian Muslim, it is very lethal, because in the end, the poor Muslim, they pays for it. They pays for it. And they believe that the state is so against us.
The panic was created because of
that too was created by groups which you represented.
By itself, CAA does not affect the Indian Muslims.
Yes.
You are right about
so
that.
The thing is that this should have been clarified. This should have been clarified. Every Indian Muslim believing that we are going to be a homeless is not a good idea, not a good message.
On a mutual level, let us both agree that we cannot change our mind. So if I think CAA is wrong, whatever, वो ठीक है.
No, but
मुद्दे की बात
we cannot manufacture facts, no, Sanjukta.
You just manufactured facts. You said Supreme Court ने तो कर दिया valid, declare कर दिया valid.
I take that back. I did not. But the fact is that as an Indian Muslim, CAA does nothing to my citizenship. Do you agree?
I'm coming to that. I'm agreeing to it.
Do you agree?
That I'm agreeing to the fact that CAA by itself, मैं तो ये तक agree कर रही हूँ कि CAA by itself was a toothless law from the very beginning, until and unless the rules for it are actually prescribed and the law is actually implemented, तब तक तो ये toothless ही है। मेरा कहना ये है कि दोनों तरफ से, ये दोनों हिंदुत्ववादीज बीजेपी के लोग और जो मुस्लिम राइट विंग है, जिनका वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है टू क्रिएट अ हिंदू मुस्लिम टेंशन इन द कंट्री, दोनों तरफ से ये भड़काया गया है। एक को बताया गया है कि देखो हमने ना मुसलमानों की ना लगा दी है, उनको ना हमने सीईओ करके उनको ठोक दिया उनकी। हिंदुओं को ये बोला गया कि तुम अब नाचो क्योंकि मुसलमानों की हमने ले ली है। मुसलमानों को ये बोल दिया गया है तुम लोग अब तक रो, तुम्हारी हमने ले ली है। लेकिन एक्चुअली में ये कुछ नहीं था, सिर्फ टूथलेस लॉ था। However, the law can become potentially very dangerous if you use it along with NRC. I once again say that the government will never ever be able to do NRC, the countrywide NRC. And they should not, because in that sense, you are questioning my citizenship, your citizenship, everybody, my father's citizenship. You are asking everybody to suddenly now prove your citizenship.
Nobody is asking, only the illegal immigrants need to worry. Second thing was you spoke about the Muslim right, but the Muslim right was, let me complete, Sanjukta. The Muslim right was at Shaheen Bagh. You were standing with the Muslim right.
The
Islamist slogans were at Shaheen Bagh.
Please, guys, calm down. Look, Shaheen Bagh has the right to protest.
Not to occupy public roads for 3 months.
Look, there is a one truth also, Khalid. When people protest, they are going to.
You can't block public roads. That's not democracy.
They are not allowed to do the violence because if
you're
you
not
go in
allowed
the
to block public roads.
Listen. When if you go in the past, so many rights we have gone through creating a lot of stuff.
Nobody has
Even
blocked
feminism,
public roads.
even feminism was a violent. Even feminism. When women were fighting for their rights,
globally it is a valid process.
Listen, when women were fighting for their rights,
are you saying this on record that you can block public roads for months? That's a legal right.
That's not legal right, but people do their protest in that way.
But that's not a legal right. You don't damage public property. And Sanjukta, you were standing with the Muslim right in Shaheen Bagh.
If something is legal or illegal, it doesn't make it like, that this is the only thing, the way you can go. Because there was the legal that women are the second class citizen.
So no, public road can be blocked for so many reasons.
It's a legal right.
What is illegal is not the question.
What I am trying to say, there was a time, just because something is legal is not mean this is right, because there was a time when women were legally second class citizens. And when we were fighting against it, the feminism movement was violent at some point. But that's how you go about it.
Listen, every movement can become violent.
But I don't support violence because now we live in democracy. And
exactly, and
there is a procedure, Baba. You're supposed to take permission from your police station.
But I have a different question from the Sanjukta. Shaheen Bagh has...
Before that, I want to tell Khalid that he said, they need not worry. It's not a question of who should be worried. Khalid said only the illegal people will have to be worried. Other people need not worry. So I can say, oh, I don't have to worry. I just have to stand in line and show my paper. It's not a question of who is to be worried.
That's fear-mongering.
It's a question of whose citizenship is questioned. Everybody, 100 billion people's citizenship is to be questioned, and 100 billion people will have to stand in a line and show their papers.
That's panic. That's epic proportion fear-mongering. Who does that? Every country has a...
I had a different question. Let me ask at least.
Look, being born in this country, I don't want to stand in a line and show it to an authority that I belong to this country. I don't want to do that. It's humiliating to me. It's humiliating to my father, to my parents.
Who's doing that? This is fear-mongering, yeah.
No, let me just ask Sanjukta, let me just this question. I get it that Shaheen Bagh has all the right to exist. Every Indian citizen has equal right to protest and all those stuff. Even, okay, सबको चक्का जाम करना है, सब यही करते हैं. चलो, उन्होंने भी किया. But the problem is,
50,000 crore.
Let me speak. Let me ask question, guys. Be little civil. Let me ask my question. Okay. हाँ तो we condemn them. संजुक्ता, we condemn.
संजुक्ता, आपका जो मुस्लिम राइट था, वो तो सर तन से जुदा कर दिया. 6 लोगों को सर भी काट दिया उन्होंने.
And we condemn both of them.
तो ये जो हिंदू राइट विंग वाले जो कितनों को मार चुके हैं अभी तक गौरक्षा के नाम पे,
तो जो शाहीन बाग का था वो सर तन से जुदा होने के
please Khalid don't do this. We are in interview. What are you doing?
तुमने इतने मारे, हमने कितने मारे? यही
No,
होता
no,
रहेगा क्या?
Sanjukta. No, let's don't do this. Just I was asking कि Shaheen Bagh has all the right to exist. They can protest and everything. The problem is that when we find the link with the PFI, that the money is coming from there, then you see that it cannot be an organic protest. It can't be very much driven by an agenda, and the agenda could be very dangerous because PFI was involved there. So that kind of stuff is
Yes,
like
I agree.
problematic.
The agenda can be very dangerous. Where is the money coming from? Who is organizing it? All of that must be scrutinized. The government should definitely do that. The authorities must show the proof and should prosecute and put people in jail. But they can't do that. They just put people in UPA and then they can't show any proof. So I, as of now, don't really have any proof of PFI or anything.
But
I mean, as of
UPA is
now,
also, isn't it
it's
also?
only allegations.
Yeah, but that is also in the place by the Congress only. No?
Yeah, I know. So मैंने कब मना किया कि यूपी ये सारे उल्टे सीधे
So
कानून तो
because
लेकर आई कांग्रेस
state has to deal with a lot of things. So sometime when वो कहते हैं ना कि desperate time, desperate measurement.
कानून जो है यूपीए का वो सरकार कांग्रेस लेके आई है, मुझे पता है. पर ये भी सही बात है कि 90% increase of UPA and sedition laws has happened in after Modi, and the prosecution rate is 2%.
Yeah, but the thing is that you can then also see that in the Modi government, we feel in our city more safe. Like you don't find the terror attack in the city, in the main city, like where we live.
In the non-conflict zones.
Not in the conflict.
क्या difference
So,
आपको?
maybe because they are active there. Maybe they are active there, so it doesn't feel more.
Terrorism 30 years का सबसे deadly attack पुलवामा था मोदी के अंडर, और आप बोल रहे हो सिटी में एक 2008 के बाद
I'm not talking about the conflict zone. I was talking about the main city, like mainland of India.
हाँ, main city.
Yeah, like Mumbai terror attack हुआ कांग्रेस के अंदर.
मुंबई में 2004 से लेकर 2014 तक जो 10 साल यूपीए की सरकार रही, उसमें एक ही अटैक हुआ था ना, टेररिस्ट अटैक.
आप तो एक ऐसे कह रही है एक ही हुआ था. जयपुर में कितने हुए थे?
यार तुम्ही
मुंबई में हुआ था. मुंबई में
हैदराबाद में कितने हुए थे? बैंगलोर में कितने हुए थे? अहमदाबाद में कितने हुए थे? As the 80s kid, it was normal to see so many terror attacks. It was normal to see so many terror attacks.
सुनो, आपको अगर टेररिज्म की बात करनी है तो आप कश्मीर को इंक्लूड करें और देखें कि किस तरह से.
Why should you include a conflict zone where there is a Pakistan terror-sponsored state there? Why are you not including the normal civilian cities?
You cannot have your cake. You cannot have your cake and eat it too.
That's what you're doing.
You consider
you're getting a conflict zone. You're getting a conflict zone into cities which don't have a terror problem.
स्टैटिस्टिक के हिसाब से जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के अंदर भी जो अटैक के नंबर हैं वो कम हो गए
हैं. स्टोन पेल्टिंग में वो बच्चे मर नहीं रहे हैं जिनको लेफ्टिस्ट एग ऑन करते हैं, जिनको रॉयज और कविता कृष्ण एग ऑन करते हैं.
डिमोनेटाइजेशन से स्टोन पेल्टिंग खत्म हो गया, डिमोनेटाइजेशन से आपकी टेररिज्म खत्म हो गई.
स्टोन पेल्टिंग तो 90% खत्म हो गई है संजुक्ता.
सब खत्म हो गया.
I don't think demonetization has to.
स्टोन पेल्टिंग तो 90% खत्म हो गया. You should celebrate that as an individual. ना वो गरीब बच्चे मर नहीं रहे हैं.
कौन सा स्टोन पेल्टिंग और कौन सा गरीब बच्चा? These are all vague information. Don't give me vague information.
Vague क्या? मैं आपको statistics बोल रहा हूँ. Stone pelting has reduced by 90% since last 3 years.
What statistics? And how many? And how? What about the statistics that says the killing of the Kashmiri Pandits have increased in Modi's rule?
Sorry?
The killing of the Kashmiri Pandits have increased.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so how can you talk
Because
about
militants
these things in such
are more riled
Militants
up.
are more desperate.
Yeah, they are more desperate, so they are targeting.
इनको एक holistic तरह से आपको देखना पड़ेगा, एक holistic बात करनी पड़ेगी.
Holistic कैसे? इंडिया की नॉन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट सिटीज में जो नॉर्मल सिटीज थी, दिल्ली, मुंबई, बैंगलोर, जयपुर, हैदराबाद और बाकी सिटीज में बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट और टेरर बहुत नॉर्मल था यूपीए के सरकार में, और अब नहीं होते यहाँ.
नहीं, ये आपकी
2014 के बाद कौन से इंडियन सिटी में बॉम्ब ब्लास्ट हुआ है? कौन सा टेरर अटैक हुआ है?
टेरर अटैक ना तो यूपीए के टाइम में नॉर्मल था इन नॉन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जोन, और ना ही मोदी के टाइम में कोई बहुत ज्यादा ड्रास्टिक चेंज आ गया.
सॉरी, कैसे वो कैसे कह रहे हैं आप? यार यहाँ पुणे में हुआ था टेरर अटैक.
It's okay, Khalid, it's our opinion.
नहीं, मैं फैक्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ. फैक्ट्स कैन बी, ओपिनियंस कैन बी फैक्ट्स.
you can either look at it as a holistic problem of terrorism, which is happening from cross-border, and you have to look at the government's responsibility in controlling terrorism in Kashmir, in protecting the Kashmiri Pandits, in securing the how did Pulwama attack happen? 30 years, largest attack in Kashmir in 30 years. 30 साल 40 साल से कश्मीर में सब कुछ ठीक था, कैसे मोदी के अंडर में इतना ज्यादा परेशानी हो रहा है? Why the killing of Kashmiri Pandits increasing? There is no answer. But you want to,
I just gave it.
एक इंसान के सर को पकड़ के बोल रहे हो कि ये ठीक है, आंख खराब है, कान ठीक है, लेग खराब है, हाथ ठीक है, ऐसे नहीं होता है.
आप फैक्ट्स को डिनाई करना चाहते हो आइडियोलॉजिकल ऑपोजिशन.
Just because you have to say मोदी ने अच्छा काम किया है, मोदी ने सब ठीक कर दिया है, you cannot look at terrorism in such a bifurcated way. It is a holistic problem. So when you say क्या सिटी में रोज अटैक यूपीए में होता था, नहीं होता था, क्या आज कुछ ड्रास्टिक चेंज हो गया है, नहीं हुआ है, क्या कश्मीर में कुछ ड्रास्टिक चेंज हो गया है? हाँ, कश्मीर में ड्रास्टिक चेंज हो गया है. पहले पुलवामा अटैक कैसे हुआ आज तक हमें नहीं पता है. बट एनीवे, these are not
पाकिस्तान के मिनिस्टर ने बोला उन्होंने कराया, आप उन पे विश्वास नहीं करते? क्या
कराया आप? पाकिस्तान के मिनिस्टर में, I don't want to make controversial statement, but it is not just who is karwaing, but who is also letting it happen, who is closing their eyes and their ears and not alerting things in time, so that it can go ahead and happen and get political benefits out of it.
इंडिया खुद पे ही खुद कराता है. यही तो इस्लामिस्ट ग्रुप भी कह रहे हैं. आप एक चीज में कहते हैं आप इस्लामिस्ट के अगेंस्ट है, फिर जो इस्लामिस्ट कहते हैं आप वही बोलते हैं.
तो मैं
इस्लामिस्ट ग्रुप भी तो यही बोलते हैं. इंडिया does attacks on its own. Now that is where you merge with the Islamists.
नो, तो कुछ कुछ बातों में आपको लगेगा कि अरे ये तो उनकी तरह बोल रही है, कुछ कुछ में लगेगा ये तो हमारी तरह बोल रही है. बिकॉज़ कॉम्प्लेक्स
इस्लामिस्ट तो ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, टेरर ग्रुप से यही बोलते हैं कि इंडिया खुद पे ही हमेशा.
Can we move on another question?
I will not give you standard narratives that you want to hear from me because you think that I am against the Islamist or whatever it is. The point is that yes, I am 100% saying it on record that I want to ask my own security forces, how did it happen? Yes, the cross border, they are trying, but how did you fail to prevent it? Where was your intelligence? Who has resigned? Why has our intelligence officers not resigned after the Pulwama attack? Who has taken the responsibility of the 40 Jawans? I will absolutely say it on record. Why is my government failing in protecting? Yes, they are attacking, but my government is failing in protecting the Kashmir.
Sure. Fair enough. Can I answer without me being cut?
I don't care if that is what the Islamists are saying.
Can I answer?
I don't care कि मेरा अगर उनके साथ match
Can I reply? Can I reply?
Yes. Yeah. I will ask the intelligence. I will ask Mr.
Sure.
क्या नाम है उनका?
That's fine.
जो हमारे क्या है क्या नाम है उनका हमारे जो
Mr. अजीत दोवल.
अजीत दोवल. मैं उनसे अजीत दोवल ने आज तक रेजिग्नेशन क्यों नहीं किया? इतनी सारी टेररिज्म हो रही है.
Fine. Can I reply?
उनकी आंखें बंद है क्या?
Can I reply?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I would like to applaud them that unlike the Manmohan Singh led government in 2611, who should have given a befitting reply to Pakistan after the mayhem the state of Pakistan did in Mumbai.
These are all false narratives.
Can I please?
False narratives.
Can I reply?
False narratives.
Can I please reply?
False narratives.
Can I please reply?
I am not going to fall for this false narrative.
I'm just speaking.
There has been no.
I would like to applaud them.
Can I please?
Can I please reply? Can I please reply? And I would like to applaud them, unlike when they did nothing after 2611.
What are you applauding? It's a false narrative. You are misguided.
Sanjukta, can I please reply? And I would like to applaud them for doing the Balakot, for doing the surgical strikes, and now putting Pakistan state under pressure of thinking of doing anything like that. Unlike the 2611, where we sat like sitting ducks and did nothing after the worst mayhem done to our beloved city. Thank you. The current
there is no way you can prove this narrative.
Let's go ahead. Otherwise, we might end up making this the longest podcast ever.
And I completely do not believe in this perception because there is no way you can prove it substantially. You cannot prove that Balakot was a useful strike. You cannot prove that we were sitting duck after 2008. None of these can be proved.
Right.
संजुक्ता, मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि आपका जो पर्सपेक्टिव है जो सर्जिल इमाम और उमर की जो पॉलिटिक्स है, जो उनका वर्ल्ड है, उस पे आपका क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है?
हाँ, ये क्वेश्चन. सो देखो, सर्जिल इमाम और उमर खालिद पे मेरा क्या पर्सपेक्टिव होना, व्हाई शुड आई इवन बॉदर टू गिव अ रिप्लाई टू give my perspective on some
शाहीन बाग में
random
आपके
citizens
कॉमरेड्स
of
थे
the
भाई?
country. Huh?
शाहीन बाग में आपके साथी थे? शाहीन बाग प्रोटेस्ट के सितारे थे दोनों?
शाहीन बाग प्रोटेस्ट के सितारे होंगे या मेरे साथ तो वो नेटिजन्स वाला जो इवेंट था उसमें भी उमर वहां पे था। तो ऐसे तो मैं उमर को मतलब कई बार मैं जेएनयू आती जाती रहती हूँ अपने सिस्टर के साथ, तो कई बार देखा है, हाय हेलो हो चुका है, पर उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? आई मीन हु एम आई टू गिव माय perspective on
No, that's
Sharjeel
fine. Sanjukta,
and
just like we
one
asked your
woman.
perspective on Raga, what do you think of the politics of Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid?
No, but you can ask my perspective on Raga. Raga is a potential prime minister of the country. He is contesting for that position, and he is a political leader. That's why my opinion on Raga is relevant
All right.
here. But
All right.
my opinion on
Can I frame
Sharjeel
it in a
and Umar
different way?
Khalid is not
Sanjukta,
relevant.
let me try
here.
framing it in a different way. Let me try
Yeah.
framing it. You know,
It's not
Sanjukta, years
relevant.
back.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure. I get it. Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam are not relevant to the politics, to Indian
Or
political
my opinion on them is not relevant in any way at all.
Sure. Okay, fine. Let me put this in a different way, and you can choose to answer or you can choose to not answer. You know, Umar Khalid, Sanjukta, years back on Facebook, put up a post in which he lauded, a terror group operative. All right. Now, facing intense pressure, he deleted the post, but of course, internet never forgets. Now, that clearly shows that he backs the secessionist terror groups against the sovereignty of India. Similarly, when it comes to Sharjeel Imam, he straight away called for, territorial disintegration of India, the chicken neck, and, it to be amputated. I want to understand, do you agree with these statements or do you disagree with these statements? That's all. And it's your choice whether you want to agree, answer it, or you want to let it go.
I don't know what Umar Khalid posted and what he deleted, and I do not know what to make of it because it's completely new information to me. So, but to answer on a larger point, I don't support secessionist movement at all. No, I don't understand why Kashmir wants to be separate from India. उनको क्यों आजादी चाहिए मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है। क्या परेशानी है भाई तुमको इंडिया से, तुम्हें क्यों आजादी की मांग करनी है? So I have never understood secessionist movements by Khalistanis, by Kashmir, by the Naxalites. I have never understood any violent movements at all. I believe that our constitution is so strong and so robust that everybody who is poor and गिरा हुआ and उनको कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है, खाना नहीं मिल रहा है और वो शस्त्र उठा लेते हैं. I don't believe in this. I don't believe that you have to pick up arms for your rights. You can approach the institutions and the democratic processes for your all your grievances, and there should not be any armed rebellion in the country. That includes the people who are breaking the Pathan movie halls in protesting Pathan, and includes all the people who are climbing on Babri Masjid and demolishing Babri Masjid, and includes the entire Hindutva political goons. Hindutva is created by half the Hindutva movement is violent movement all the time on the streets. लाठी तलवार उठा लो, मार लो, अपने घर में रख लो, अपने हथियार बना लो, शस्त्र पूजा कर लो. ये सारा का सारा मुझे इन सबसे परेशानी है. आपको इस देश में रहने के लिए शस्त्र नहीं उठाना है, शस्त्र सिर्फ पुलिस और आर्मी को उठाना है. आपको हमेशा नॉन वायलेंट रहना है, चाहे आप मुस्लिम हो, हिंदू हो, आपकी किसी भी तरह से कुछ भी खतरे में हो ना. आपको डिफेंस के लिए शस्त्र उठाना है. ये कहते हैं कि हमें तो सेल्फ डिफेंस में, जी नहीं, सेल्फ डिफेंस में आपको शस्त्र नहीं उठाना है. सेल्फ डिफेंस में आपके लिए पुलिस करेगी. आप पुलिस को फोन करो. पुलिस क्या मोदी सरकार इतनी कमजोर है कि आपकी डिफेंस नहीं कर पा रही है कि आपको रोज के रोज भाषण देना पड़ रहा है कि भाई हिंदू भाई सारे तलवार उठा लो? ये क्या बात है? हर रोज के रोज आप भाषण देने निकल जाते हो कि हिंदू लोग तलवार उठा लो, चाकू छुरी तेज करवा लो. So
Sanjukta,
I
I want
am
to
not in
ask you one
support of
question.
any kind of secessionist violent movements.
Fair enough. So there we agree.